Hey Internet, and welcome to the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the New Eurekan Poets Cafe. I am going to be your host for the evening. My name is Advocate of Words. This is our 20th episode. The theme for today is there is no theme. So, poets are encouraged to share whatever type of poem they want, whatever kind of theme. Those of you who signed up, the first 25 are guaranteed a slot. You are going to have 4 minutes to perform your poem or your poems. We do ask that you keep your intros to a minimum because we want to get as many people on as possible. I think we have 8 people on the waiting list, so I want to be able to get to them if possible. So, real quick, we are also streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So if you're watching us from Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn and you want to join us on Zoom, you can see that the number is right there, 279-995-364. Also, we encourage you to check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/New Eurekan Poets Cafe. New Eurekan Poets. On YouTube, look up New Eurekan Poets Cafe, Twitter, Instagram, you see it right there. That's why I created it. Also, we would like to thank the NEA, the New York State Council on the Arts, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, Amazon Literary Partnership, and the New York Community Trust for sponsoring our free online content. You too can support us with a tax-deductible donation at www.neweurekan.org/contribute. Or you can send money to our cash New Eurekan Poets Cafe. Now, next week's theme is volta. That means a turn. Usually, the word volta is used when they're talking about sonnets. And sonnets are always supposed to take a turn near the end. So that's what I want to hear. I want to hear poems where you're leading us one way, and then there's a sharp turn. So, volta. Okay. With that being said, I think we have covered everything. Also, when our poets are done performing, what we like to do is we like to unmute everyone so that they could clap. Make sure when I give you the opportunity to unmute yourself that you do so that you're not just clapping in dead air, that we can hear you and you can give the poet some love. So with that being said, first coming up is Christopher Owens. Is Christopher Owens here? I don't see a Christopher. Oh, I see Christopher Owens. There he is. Let me unmute him. You should be able to unmute yourself now.
I'm on mute, yeah.
There we go, man. This is your first time on Monday night, correct?
Absolutely. First time read live, period, anywhere.
Oh, that's what's up. What a great way to start the evening. Where are you located?
Chicago.
I'm a huge Chicago Bears fan, so I got love for Chicago, man.
Born and raised, sweetness all day.
Yes. Oh, yes. All right. We can talk about it all day, but we got to get to the poems. I'm going to mute myself. Chris, welcome to the Monday Night Online Open Mic. Take it away.
All right. Thank you. This poem is called Uncle Sam Ain't Relieved Me Yet. I'm a military vet. I served in the Army, so that's my theme. Okay. They tell you to get on a plane while the band is playing over there. Boys sent to war for sport by men that don't care. Wives and kids crying because daddy dying. Shit isn't even close to being fair. Jody having a field day at home fucking your girl. Dodging bullets while she walks around with a necklace made of pearls. Landmines by designs meant to take you out. Burning babies, dying ladies, tomorrow is more and more in doubt. Backdoor drafts to keep you in hell next to Lucifer himself. Praying to God you don't come back on that eagle resting on the bottom shelf. Back in the world, you lost your girl. What more can you give or do? Now PTSD sets in like an old friend looking to ravish what's left of you. Fit for the fight or barely a shell of a man. Uncle Sam's hired gun for freedom. Buckle up for your last ride on Death's Caravan. That's it. That's all I got.
Give it up for Chris Owens. Unmute yourself.
Nice.
More than enough, man. That was great.
Thank you.
Let me mute everyone and then unmute Chris one more time. You should be able to unmute yourself one more time, Chris.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you for serving. Thank you for coming on and joining us and then first time publicly sharing. Chris, is there anywhere online that the people can follow you?
Not yet. I'm literally newbie, so I'm just getting started. By the next time, I'll have all that information.
All right, cool. Thank you, man. Hey, please come back next week, okay?
Will do. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you all.
Chris Owens representing Chicago. That's awesome. What a way to kick off the show. Someone reading in public for the first time virtually. And this is awesome too, that like we're getting to do this online. We're doing this every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern. So make sure y'all check it out. And if the pandemic wouldn't hit, we wouldn't have found Chris. So welcome, Chris. Appreciate you. Next coming up is representing Central Massachusetts. It's Christina. Where is Christine? There she is. Let me unmute Christina. You should be able to unmute yourself. Oh, wait, where'd Christina go? Did we lose Christina? I think we did. Oh, Christina, log back in and hit me up, and I'll make sure you go. All right, Adam Wells. Adam Wells is next. Oh, no, wait, Christina's back. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to unmute you, Christina. Let's see if you should be able to unmute yourself. No. Christina, log out and log back in, and then we'll get to you. When you get back, hit me up. Send a message to me. All right. Adam Wells. I did not see an Adam Wells when I was scanning over the people who are here. Is Adam Wells here? Adam Wells. Oh, yes, he is. I see him. There we go. Let me unmute him. Adam, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Now, is this your first time on Monday night as well?
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Where are you located?
I'm in New Jersey.
Oh, okay. You're right across the river. That's what's up. That's what's up, man. All right, cool. I'm going to mute myself and the floor is yours.
All right. So the poem I have is called The Ditching Woods. Do you remember when I almost drowned in Holy Lake, tucked away in the ditching woods, because I believed I could fly? You thought that I was trying to impress you, but you got the moment wrong. Impressing you happened when I slipped now and laters in your Sailor Moon lunchbox. Impressing you was when I lied about knowing how to swim. Impressing you was holding your petite hands to bring you into the ditching woods, my sacred place, where the sloppy dirt danced on your light blue kids with the softness of a ballerina and the force of a figure skater, where the obnoxious leaves made love to the wind and played coy with the branches, where the noisy sky held my face after I couldn't worry about life anymore. I told you to listen to the rhythm of honest affection pouring through the deformed rocks and ambitious worms. You let loose my grip, yet you couldn't hear it, could you? The synonymous nature of reality and imagination weren't gospel in your gap-toothed world. But when I brought you to holy, you dipped your dainty fingers into the coolness, and I saw your lips becoming fuller, your feet tapping on the 2s and 4s, your eyes welling up with strawberry tears. I kissed them and felt shame as my stomach lightly choked my throat, a scolding by the ancestors. When you pulled your hand from holy and kissed my cheek for payback, my stomach eased, and I believed I could fly over holy to the other side. As I leapt, I felt the sun pulling me back down, only to have my ankles break the shackles, for my flight lasted only a hot second before the stern wind and your intuitive arms saved me from returning to ditching and from bathing in holy again. Holy and ditching taught me how to breathe like a desperate sinner when tar played my lungs, taught me how to smile like the stars burning through discarded souls when glass cut the skin of my family's eyes, taught me how to hold myself like Black folks hold our sanity when storms break into our sanctuary. But they never taught me how to handle a spirit who loves my aura, never taught me how to speak through clammy palms, and that death would only strengthen our bond. For that, my dear, was always you. Thank you.
Wow.
Give it up for Adam.
Nice.
Yes.
Oh,
Right.
man. Yeah.
Thank you.
Love the fact we're getting some new people on here, setting the show off right. Adam, where can the people find you online?
Nothing yet, but I will create something soon. But thank you for having me, though.
Cool. Thank you, Adam. Please come back. So, first two people never performed before. We can't find them online. Witness Protection Program. I appreciate the FBI sponsoring today's show. Okay, Christina, I think we fixed it. Hi, Christina, you're unmuted.
Hi, can you hear me now?
We hear you. Yes. Okay. No stress, no worries. Good to go. We got you. All right, I'm gonna mute myself. You have the floor.
Okay. I should smile more. I'd be more approachable, big and toothy. I could smile and wave, and I'd chat it up. I'd flip my hair, and I would laugh because I should laugh more. People like people who are happy, and laughing is like the same thing, except that it's not. Laughing is the reaction that I have when I don't know what else to do, when crying isn't reasonable anymore, and screaming isn't appropriate in small spaces with screeches bouncing off of the walls. Laughing is the reaction to you when I just don't know how to react. It probably sounds rude, and I can apologize over and over and try to explain it, but unless you laugh like this, you'll never really understand. I should work harder, but then maybe I am too ambitious, too many goals to measure, to benchmark. I've got dates and ink spots on pieces of paper scattered across my desk, ideas on Post-it notes that are stuck to my walls that sync up and morph and help write poems just like this, blog posts and recipes, workouts. I should work out less because there could be more time to overthink, more time to be distracted by the empty time, more time to do things that fill up the time but don't actually fill me up, and more time to feel resentment for giving up all of the things that fill me up just to make more time. I should try to become stronger. I should try to maintain the space that I hold, being pulled in completely valid directions. But I used to be able to shrink myself. I focused so much on shrinking my body that I could fit into all kinds of spaces. It took a while to realize that there was actually a disconnection between the size of my voice and the idea of the size that I should be for the world. Like a sculptor, I found myself frustrated with how easy we could be molded, no longer wanting to be invisible and silent. And identifying the claustrophobia that I have about tunnels is the same feeling that I have in my jeans, thinking that I could try and be sexy and beautiful, but holding on to decades old memories from when I was 12 years old, telling me that my nose had character. How the fuck does a 12-year-old know what that means? Because I'm 31 and all I hear is that you would be more palatable if. It always seems that the things that don't bother me bother everybody else. A smile, a gesture, bars clearly set way too low because respect shouldn't just be on checklists. Open and honest conversations should be a mandate. Ideas of love and friendship that I hadn't even thought about before surface, like, I would really love it if he would just kiss me with lipstick on, but maybe now I wear it to protect me like armor. Like, I don't understand why people give me so much power, giving me the opportunity to flip the switch to their emotions. Like, I would feel sexy if they didn't act like I was trying so hard, but maybe I wouldn't try so damn hard if it wasn't just to help me get myself in the mood because my stress is high and my libido is low and I am just tired because my flashbacks have flashbacks. Because the triggers to my anxiety come and go like waves against the sand at the shoreline. They have a hard time deciding if they are coming to stay or just check in and cause some ripples, causing me to deflect and turn to baking because following somebody else's ideas and directions just seems like the only thing that makes sense in those moments. Because I don't deserve, I shouldn't think, I can't have, because I have to stop apologizing. And I really just need to figure out if I mean it when I say that I don't mind repeating myself.
Give it up for Christina. Unmute yourself.
Absolutely fantastic.
Words.
Yes, please.
Amazing.
Yes, Christine.
Flashbacks have flashbacks. And I also liked how that ending was. It felt like she was going to repeat herself, but she just said it like, I hate repeating myself. Christina, where can the people find you online?
So my Instagram is run, sweat, eat, repeat. And actually Nick reminded me too. So I actually do a blog too that is the same. So it's runsweateatrepeat.com as well. So.
You've had a website this whole time and you haven't told us?
It's like 10 years old. I blog about like life and food and fitness and poetry stuff.
You've been spending 5 months with us and we're just hearing about it. All right, repeat it one more time, please.
Run, sweat, eat, repeat. And that's Instagram and my website. I mean, my website link is on my Instagram, so you can find it. You'll figure it out. You're smart people. So smart.
Awesome. Thank you, Christina. Appreciate it. That is Christina. Make sure you go check out the Instagram and the website. There's the website too. All right. Next coming up is Trisha De Jesus. And Trisha's been lighting it up in the chat room. I've appreciated Trisha, and now we're going to get to hear her. You should be able to unmute yourself now, Trisha. There we go. How are you?
Good. How's it going? It's really hot here.
Yes, yeah. Where are you located?
The Bay Area.
Oh, okay. Up near like Oakland, San Francisco, the Bay Area,
Yes.
California.
East Bay,
Awesome. Yep. I love that area. I love that area. So yeah. I'm glad you're finally sharing with us. Like I said, you've been lighting up the chats and responding to the other poets. So I'm eager to hear you. Go ahead, Trisha. I'm gonna let you rock out.
Thank you. 15 years old, there was a shift. It came out of nowhere. It was blatant seduction. It was Patrick Swayze, narrow hips swiveling. Woo! Fine white boy had smooth moves. Indian mango tree summers, or stir crazy, boy crazy. Did it just get hot in here? You got to see this junction. This is where it happened. How dirty dancing became my induction into the next logical stage, unfurling flower, spilling like time-lapse fury, full, hot pink blossom, my own hips. Not ready yet to answer the call, still tracing frustrated figure 8 patterns into the thirsty air in the privacy of my bright yellow bedroom. Shy gyrations in place, hands up, hands in, standing up, bent over, splayed on a humid bed. Yes, I know it's the middle of the night, Mama. It isn't me generating virginal heat. It's Carmen. Behind her hand, snide aside, Carmen? What? Ano ka ba, bobo? Are you stupid? Carmen lost her cherry a long time ago in Batangas City. Shh, listen. Is that Robbie Draco or Johnny Castle pounding at my door? Should I answer it? And then, should I answer it again? You have to know the song Time of My Life opened the gateway to a drug of choice. First me playing the role of baby houseman, the only dance I know on repeat, until I outgrew those steps to jailbreak the womb, more and more woman and less hapless baby. I followed my feet, and it followed the sultry, beckoning beat, stomping tables at La Taza de Cafe in Oakland, and sidestepping steel grates and dodging bullets to queue up Saturday nights in front of Acapulco and Mission. I was acolyte no more. I was ordained priestess, ramping up the sizzle and the shimmy, my hips lethal and not in the mood for liars of any kind. My humidity pleased to be invading your space, virgin optional. Baby girl, baby in white and cutoffs, watch me as I descend in spectacular fashion. Observe my silken slip slide into salsa, that crossbody lead into merengue, that short step its way into bachatea mi papi, teasing no space between us all the way up, until we thrill our joined bodies vertical, until vertical became horizontal. Mimicry, each offbeat syncopation in mounting orgasm, like insultant triumvirate.
Unmute yourselves and give it up for Trisha.
Oh, yeah.
That was Trisha. Let me unmute Trisha. That's awesome. Out of our first 4 poets, 3 are first time sharing on Monday night. That was awesome. I felt like the poem was like discovering itself. You were discovering yourself, and I was discovering it all through it. Trisha, this was awesome. Where can the people find you online?
I am Instagram. Can you guys see that? Finn_Bell, and then Twitter, Finn Bell. And then Venmo, Trisha De Jesus, something. I'll put it in the chat.
In the Zoom chat. Yes, please
Yep.
do. Thank you, Trisha. I appreciate you so much.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Oh, that was great, man. Got to come back to Trisha. All right, we off to a killer start. So let me see real quick, catch some people up who have come late. You are checking out the Monday Night open mic. We are doing this on Zoom. The number is 279-995-364. We're also streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So if you're watching us there, you want to join us on Zoom, there is the number. Next week's theme is Volta. That means a turn. We want to hear stories or your poems where they take a turn near the end, okay? And today's theme is there is no theme. So also you can follow me online at Advocate of Wordz. On Friday, I'm doing a feature with Chulisi for Chulisi Vision. That's going to be a lot of fun. And Saturday, I'm hosting the erotic open mic. So make sure that you're a follower of me so you can find out all the info on that. And Saturday, it's not just erotic poetry we're going to be sharing. We're asking people to dress up, and the best dress gets a goodie bag from Tantalizing Productions, a novelty company. So many of the people from the Monday night have joined us, and it's been fantastic. It's been awesome. So next coming up is the best dressed man here today, and that is DG Clear. And let me unmute him.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I am good. It is good to be here.
Yes, yes. This is going to be your second time with us, right?
This is my second time. This is my first Monday, though.
Okay. Oh, it was Thursday I met you. Okay.
Right.
Well, welcome to Monday, man.
Thanks.
I remember you did a fantastic job last time I saw you.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. Thanks for being here. So my name's DJ Clearing. I'm from Nashua, Wisconsin. I'm just outside of Green Bay. So I'm going to read two short poems. With little federal guidance, the spread of COVID-19 is rampant in many states. Some trying to protect their citizens have ordered travel restrictions for anyone coming into their state from high-risk areas, including mandatory quarantines and fines for non-compliance. This is travel enforcement operation. Have you been checked? Do you have papers? It's a $2,000 fine if you don't have them. The top drawer is open. Pay up. This is a travel enforcement operation. You will be stopped at airports, trains, tunnels, highways, and bridges. No, you can't come in. Do you have a passport? Where's your driver's license? Have you been exposed to the virus? Was that a cough? Have you been around others that have it? Show me your antibody card. Quarantine is mandatory for 14 days. Anyone you've had contact with will be contact traced. Who have you been in contact with? What is their names? Give us their addresses, emails, and phone numbers. We warned you before you came. You should have stayed home. Thank you. And this is my second poem.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Major and college league sports postponed, canceled, rescheduled, and suspended sport events due to COVID-19 with concerns over team and fan safeties. Teams, televisions, vendors, and communities will lose billions as fans are left without sports for the first time ever. This is canceled, postponed, rescheduled, and suspended. Better swing, you're out. Baseball, postponed. And they're off. The Kentucky Derby, rescheduled. Start your engines. Indy 500, rescheduled. Face-off, hockey, suspended. Opening tip, March Madness, canceled. Bang, Boston Marathon, canceled. School Spirit, NCAA, canceled. There's the kickoff, soccer, suspended. And for the green jacket, Masters Golf, postponed. Jump ball, basketball, suspended. Faster, higher, stronger, Olympics, postponed. Love, Wimbledon tennis, canceled. Better swing, you're out, and many more. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves and give it up for DG.
Thanks,
That was
everybody.
awesome.
Appreciate it.
Love the ending. Great.
It was wonderful.
That was DG Clearing. I'm from the Bronx. I'm used to saying DJ. You should be able to unmute yourself one more time.
So you can see me at on Facebook at DG Clearing at Facebook. Thank you, everybody. I'll put it on the little chat board there. Thanks for the nice words, everybody.
Awesome. DG Clearing. Yes, I saw him on Thursday. He's like an actor. I love it. And I'm loving the jacket, looking smooth. All right. We're going to my home borough, the Bronx, and we're going to hear from Overdose, who this time doesn't have the baby with him. So it's all on him to look good now, man. It's all on you to look good. What's going on, brother?
Chilling, man. Yeah, he's upstairs taking a little nap.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. All right. So you ready to share some words with us?
Yes, sir. I got two pieces. First piece, 5 blocks away. I wish I knew more about the roots I stem from. But it just so happens my biological didn't bother to be a father. He didn't care to share anything with me or my younger brother, and this motherfucker lives 5 blocks away. 5 blocks away lives a man who doesn't give a damn that his 2 boys are growing up to be proud Santiagos, although raised by a Valentin. 5 blocks away is an individual who contributed to my physical but gives 2 shits about my spiritual. 5 blocks away is a man who lives in an abode that I loathe. So I look back at a great lineage of men who came before him, and I'm quickly reminded that every tree has its rotten apple. And that's him. 5 blocks, 7 corners, 0.3 miles, 1,546 feet away, harbors a dique hombre who was privileged enough to have 2 boys, 2 healthy, independent, creative, handsome boys. I mean, seriously, wouldn't you be proud of me? So the question isn't what are my qualms? The question is, why did it take for you to have 2 kids to then really fuck my moms? You're not a man. I can't believe I came from you. Shame on you. At least my brother doesn't have to share the same name like I do. End poem. Second poem, What's Love? In the year 2020, I'm out to guess mine. I never fuck with chicken heads because my lady's a dime. I bust this rhyme because she's worth all my quality time. Ain't nothing left for us to do now but baby incline in this relationship, which all began in the club. Many years later, I'm still showing her some love, which means I ain't going nowhere. No matter what the deal, situation's unfair. I care, I swear, something like this rare. Nothing like this pair. No one I won't scare, no one I won't share, something I won't dare. For you and yours, my life I will spare. That's real. Straight from the heart, straight from the soul. Got chapters in our lives that we're waiting to close. Let's start a new book together. We can't go wrong. And you know I'm being real. What's this, the 3rd poem? So I ask you, is there a way to find out, get you out of them holes, help you climb out? No more time out, strong words, my mind shouts. I go on and on. You still want to rhyme about, not just a physical thing. Many times I want to hold the show where it won't get colder. There to lend the shoulder. I'm older. Think first before I talk. I go the extra mile. Come on, let's take a walk. What's love? Well, love is when you're dead, you're nigga. Just to spend a little time with your with. What's love? Doing things you never done, like knowing when to bite your tongue. What's love? Not knowing when enough is enough, but knowing that it's gonna be rough. So what's love? Well, love is what I have for you, and I hope the feeling's mutual. Check it. I want to love you, hug you, touch you, fuck you, handle all my biz where a man's supposed to. Let this flow go into your ear, then to your brain, then to your heart. Push out the pain. I ain't the same lane you used to class with. Want to be that man in your life that you can laugh with, walk a path with, want to dance with, and when things get dirty, then take a bath with. But I don't mean that in the literal term. I mean it in this type of way that I can critically earn your trust and loyalty. I give you my word that any problems, any worries that I don't concern, willing to learn, change the little things you don't like, just for you, beautiful, and visit you as my wife. Hey, stressful night, then stop delaying and listen with your heart so you can feel what I'm saying. Now that's love. And peace.
Give it up for Overdose.
Nice.
Overdose repping the Bronx. Unfortunately, he's taken, ladies, as you heard. I'm sorry about that. And he does not have a twin brother. Overdose, you should be able to unmute yourself now. There we go. Awesome, brother. Appreciate it. And I remember that first poem. You're always going with it. I love the second poem too. Let the people know where they can find you online and mention the shop.
You can find me on Facebook at Richard Santiago Jr. You can find me on Instagram at Overdose79 and my shop at Jada Sweet Stop at IG. I'll put up all that information on the chat. Thank you guys. Love you all so much and keep it going.
Awesome. That was Overdose. Make sure you give him a follow so you can see Overdose Jr., his baby, and you can help him out with the shop. And also, it's going to be a rough season for him. You know, he's a Mets fan, so give him all the love you can. All right. Moving on, next coming up is, earlier I had mentioned about like I host the erotic open mic, and this woman had come on and not only did a fantastic job with her poetry, but her outfit was awesome. She won the goodie bag. She's a fantastic poet, and that is Wendy Jackson. Wendy, you should be able to unmute yourself. Hey, Wendy, how are you?
Hey, I am. I'm embarrassed.
What? Nothing to be embarrassed about. Your poetry was fire. Your outfit was great. Like, that's where you won.
Oh gosh. Okay. All right. But hey, I'm doing okay, and I want to share a poem I wrote during midway during the quarantine season. So it's about COVID, and I basically wrote it from the perspective of my students, you know. So it's called The Virus That Changed Us. Okay, are we ready? You guys could hear me clearly? Because I'm using my phone, so it's a bit tricky here.
Yeah, you're good. We hear you clearly. Go ahead.
Okay. Friday, March 13th was a memorable day. Teachers hastily said, "There's no time to play." We gathered our books, pencils, packets, everything. When again will we hear the school bell ring? Weeks before, we learned of COVID-19, novel coronavirus, crown-like cell, worst ever seen, attacks the lungs with high fevers. According to news, it's a pandemic. Stay home. There's no time to lose. At home where the heart is, we prepared for some fun. No school, no teachers, no work need be done. This crisis would blow over in the twinkle of an eye. Who knew not seeing our friends would make many of us cry? Week after week, the government implored masks and gloves were the new norm when we walked out the door. 6 feet apart was the social distance rule. Computer e-learning was how we went to school. Scientists stress, eat healthy. Cleanliness is the key. Use sanitizers, wipes, vitamins B, C, and D. Giving up gym and the mall are a rather small price. More important is hand washing while singing the birthday song twice. You won't believe the rush to each store. Shoppers laid bare the shelves of paper goods and much more. Vendors hiked up items for household hygiene. It's 2020 and we're desperate to stay clean. Stores disinfected and shortened hours each day. Floors adorned with new stickers to keep patrons at bay. Essential workers were vital to kick this flu strain in the gut. And students, bored with e-learning, felt stuck in a rut. Streets sorely littered, we felt the devastation. Our own homes faced sickness and tragic situations. If updates on the news didn't hit us to the core, parents quarantined for 2 weeks, paying us even more. Thousands jobless and homeless, depressed and cold. Hospital staff on their knees, such a sight to behold. Experts cried, Armageddon, war zone, urgent need for test kits, PPEs, medications, ventilators high on their list. Frontline workers, undaunted in all that they do, prayer warriors in parking lots for patients and staff too. Superheroes for military, media, healthcare, transportation, sanitation, counseling, food supply, fire service, delivery, law enforcement, education. No return before June. The governor closed school. No graduations or field trips. This is not cool. No rigorous preparation for mandated tests. Guess we're promoted to the new grade. Let's hope for the best. The news is still staying. There's much that's not known. Not sure how casualties of corona have grown. Not clear that the time is right to reopen each state. but surely scared of the graphs with the projected death rate. As we look forward to healthier years ahead, let's embrace volunteer efforts and gas prices without dread. Efficient digital skills, meal prep, cleaner air quality will stand us in good stead for a life of productivity. So when the time comes for us to soak up the sun, don't take for granted that this battle's been won. Wash your hands, eat at home, wear your mask and your gloves. Keep your distance and show Mother Earth your precious love. Thank you.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Wendy.
Wendy.
Wendy, good
All
job.
right, all right, all right.
Oh,
Wendy Jackson. Wendy, unmute yourself and please let the people know where they can find you online.
IG Walk Like Wendy, and everything else I'll put in the chat. Thank you so much, and best wishes to everybody. Thanks for inspiring me.
Thank you. That was Wendy Jackson, part of the family here in the Monday Night Online Open Mic. Oh, also, I forgot to shout out to producers. Giving up for Jason Quinones, who's supervising, but for the man who's really doing the work, Nick Louise. Thank you, Nick, for doing the work. Also, Jason, if you're listening on Facebook, you marked the event as Helena D. Lewis's event, and it says something about 8 professional women performing and stuff. So you got to change the name. It's supposed to be the Monday Night Online Open Mic. Okay, next coming up is repping New Jersey, Mr. Scott Pleasance. Scott, you should be able to unmute yourself. There we go. How are you, brother?
Yeah, everything's good, man. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to hear your voice again, man. You ready to do something?
Yeah, I'm here. Just a little shout out to all of the newcomers, man. I tell them to be careful because this place is addictive. So once you come, you kind of get sucked in. So be careful, new folks. All right. All right. So I got something for you. It's called I Want to Write. Hey, Mom, I want to write a poem about you. I want to write a poem so good that I get to read it on the steps of the Capitol in Washington, D.C., as I mention your name. I want to write a poem so big that you can see it from a satellite in space. The words will be surrounded in quotes that say I love you and nothing can take your place. Hey, Mom, I want to write a poem so insightful that it is the lead in at the Nobel Peace Prize speech, a galvanizing moment that only true visionaries can seek. I want to write a poem so cool that the rappers use it as their lyrics, a melodic string of words that envelops a beat. It makes the young folks nod their heads and the matriarchs like you get out of their seat. Hey, Mom, I want to write a poem so current that it is used as a Super Bowl commercial, those 30 seconds of instant fame that makes the people forget about the actual game. I want to write a poem so historic that it replaces the national anthem. Instead of kneeling in silence, we will be proudly reciting it. Hey, Mom, I want to write a poem so true that it becomes required reading in school. I remember when you were a teacher, that's back when they said teachers were cool. I want to write a poem so cross-sectional that it's heard in the projects and the burbs, in the backyard, on the front porch, behind those doors that say, do not disturb. Hey, Mom, I want to write a poem so dope, it's turned into a t-shirt. On the front, it says sticks and stones, and on the back, it says unhurt. I want to write a poem so special that you can order it online, pick your size, your color, and instant delivery time. Hey, Mom, I want to write a poem so popular that you can just Google it. It will be the first thing that appears. You can download, save it, and keep it for your ears. You know, sometimes I just want to write a poem about me talking to you and you talking to me. Sometimes I want to write a poem about, I don't know, sometimes I just want to write something meaningful and true. Hey, Mom, I want to write a poem just so you know that I wrote a poem about you. Peace.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Scott.
Hey, Mom.
Yes, this
All
is
right,
great.
all right, all right.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Hey, Mom.
Oh, yeah.
All in the feels, man. The rhythm, the feels. I love the last two poems about a lot of rhythm. Poetry needs rhythm. Even if it doesn't rhyme or not, needs rhythm. Sky, appreciate the content and the rhythm. Where can the people find you online, brother?
Yeah, I'm at Scott Pleasance on Facebook, Poet33. Other areas, I'll put it in the chat. And once again, be careful, new folks, because you'll be back.
That's the plan. That's the plan.
That's it. All right, cool.
Thank you, Scott. We're going to get people to come back. They're like, yo, is Scott Pleasance coming back? He was awesome. That's the whole trick, man. We're using you to bait you. All right. So now that we've let you know our business plan, let's get back to business. Next up is Mr. Tesosomok. Let me unmute him. Oh, wait. Did I unmute the wrong one? Because I think you got two of them.
Yeah, I'm having network problems. So, okay, you got me. I'm here.
Yeah. I hear you clearly, brother. So go ahead, get into it.
All right. Frog season. The rains were hard on the adobe house. Earlier in the night, hoes made embankments against adobe walls, grading dirt to divert the waters coming. Burlap sacks used to makeshift. Beds were moved to avoid the rain that dripped through the Havan roof. Halfway through the night, after the rain had stopped, the flash floods dragged the river by and the ground shook for a while. The ear got used to the sound, the newly risen Yerbabuena River. Dew made the huaraches slippery as the rope flung around the calf's head and then over till it was muscled on its mother's horns, and the hand squeezed the cow's tit till the bucket filled and brimmed over with foam. It was the wet season. Gulches ran with the blue waters from the mesas, the blue water only gotten from the abandoned copper mines and the granite sand beds. The zapote tree with its freshly sprouted leaves stood at the corner of the corral. The animals packing themselves against each other, fighting for the small space available for shelter. The salt trough turned white from the salt absorbed into the corky sides, and the animals restless, trying to dry themselves, waiting for the early sun to shine through the valley. Early in the morning, the foot sank deep in the wet mulch, loose dirt, animal feces, and leftover hay jamming between the toes. This was the beginning of adobe making, but adobe making is a different season. The smell of wet bricks mingled from the house out to the corral, and the brick making and destroying had combined into the coming of rain. The animals got used to the occasional rain coming soon to the corral, wanting to get in earlier than their usual time and running to find shelter of the zapote tree. But the river calm, the gulches dry, the house cracked from the drying adobe, and the smell of wet mulch and musty adobe also disappeared. The fields were planted, the rows turned, the fertilizer spooned twice in the season, the corn hairs flew in the wind, and the coming of the frogs began. It was a time of the sound like a murmur of 1,000 souls, perhaps the souls of wandering revolutionary soldiers, those soldiers that died in the wars grandfather spoke about. Upon crossing the stream, we knew the time of quiet nights were about to disappear. Tadpoles swam wildly when the horse's hoof hit the water. The sound did come, and when we knew the festive time would too. The frogs, like the farmers, were ready to harvest. The degree of immediacy was different for the frogs, as it was a time for the mate and continue life. For the farmer, it was a time to collect his harvest and celebrate the bountiness of the season. When the wailing began at the river's edge and the lights went up high in the town, the bullfights, the cockfights, and the rodeo and the packing of granaries. When the frogs stopped croaking, the farmer cleared the fields, prepped the lands for the animals to scavenge. He gathered the axe and pack animal and headed into the hills to find a dead tree to burn for fuel. The night quiet as the ash splinters burn in the hearth, and the farmer shells dry corn from the cob.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Mr. Tesosomok.
All right. Thank you.
Good job. Good words.
Representing Southern Cali, let me unmute him one more time. And all of our poets, and you too, Mr. Tesla Somo, make sure that you check the chat after you perform, because a lot of people like to say things and chat it up while your poem is in motion. So where can the people follow you online, sir?
At Gashes 2019, I'll drop it on the chat. And thanks again, everybody. Thanks for putting up with my last piece last time. It was way too fresh still, but still working on it. And thanks everybody for continuing the great comments, and I appreciate everybody. Thank you.
Mr. Tessa Somok. I've had some interesting conversations behind the scenes with him about poetry. Every now and then, it just randomly hit me up about something, and all right, we're gonna keep going because I'm gonna go into this whole conversation where he made me look way better than what I was with one of the themes that I had given. I appreciated that. Okay, next coming up is the woman who is running from the door catcher, and that is Pip Squawk. Pips, you should be able to unmute yourself right now. There we go. How are you?
Can you hear me okay?
I hear you beautifully. I'm so happy you signed up and are ready to perform again. So I'm assuming the door catcher hasn't caught up with you. Am I right?
We good. We good.
Awesome.
We know there was a little matter about some chickens, but we won't go there.
Okay, we won't say nothing. Go ahead.
Nothing about the chickens. There was no cat. I didn't see that cat. Anyway, a bird of prey, circles, circles. A flying monkey, circles, circles at night. A demon from hell, a whirlybird, circles, circles at night. Motion detector security lights illuminate my dog, squatting, serpentining. Motion detector lights capture the rat circus, rats tightrope on telephone wires, trapeze through grapevines, tap dance on the roof. Motion lights capture me. What scares away the owls seems to circle me like a vulture. Drones occasionally make an evening visit, hover, but never long enough for me to extend the one-fingered greeting. Maybe a mirrored disco ball would disrupt the rat circus, the antics overhead, the gnawing in the walls, the gnawing in the wires, the gnawing in my skull, the yearning in my soul. Maybe a mirrored disco ball would deter the raucous rat debauchery with a ladder, with a long ladder. Maybe I could unscrew the light bulbs. Maybe the night vulture won't find it so amusing to disrupt my slumber. Won't need to watch my dog Pipsqueak squat, circle, sniff, and raise his leg. Maybe I can take that ladder to the border with Canada and climb a leafy maple tree with Pipsqueak strapped to me in a backpack in the serenity of a moonless night, blessed by mists and forest spirits. I can climb down the other side of that tree to starlight, fireflies, the northern lights, thunderstorms, owls, and lunar moths.
Unmute yourselves and give it up for Pip Squawks.
Thanks, Pip Squawk. Very nice. Appreciate it.
Love it. I love it. It's like we were in the Pip Squawks world. That's what I'm picking up every time Pips reads. Ked, you should be able to unmute yourself. There we go. Oh yeah. We can't say where you're at. Can't say where you're at. But
dog catcher, man. Little matter about some chickens, and there was no cat. No, there was no cat. I don't know nothing about no chickens.
I got you. I got you. It seems like everyone's favorite line was mine as well. What scares away the owl circles me. Make sure that you go back up in the chat and you see the nice stuff that people are writing about you. But
Thank you.
if they wanted to, is that your email?
It is, but I don't check it yet. I just started it.
Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. Good to know. Thank you, Pip Squawk. I appreciate you as always. That's the second time that they've performed, and I'm loving it. I'm loving that energy. When you're on Zoom, you got to give it different energy. Be in it. Be in that world. I love it. Okay. Moving on. And I believe this is her second time performing with us, but she has been here in the chat, and that is Sam Park. Sam, you should be able to unmute. There we go. How are you this evening?
I'm good. How are you, Advocate?
I'm good. I'm good. Right. And on my screen right below me is Kai Brackens, and she is going crazy when she saw that you were next. So
I see you.
you got some fans.
Love hearing that. All right. So this is a prayer to a strength. Okay. Muse of the mind, creating the future from behind, entangled in silk and adorned with finest amethyst and serpentine, refined and reflecting, ever exposing the ebbs and the flows of what is coming and what is really showing. You are vision without light. You are a path in the night, the North Star that leads the traveler to meet his greatest sight, igniting the brightest spark against spite with kindness, curing any and all blindness. Your lessons are timeless, as common as currency, but abundantly free to the dimeless souls that need the giving. You breathe your wisdom through the living. You see the end while you're at the beginning. And as if that isn't enough fulfilling, you fill the stomachs you feed and they remain full. I am a tide and you are pull. You are the brain and I am the skull. You are the wolf and I am the wool. The sheep's clothing is merely costume, though, when from you I stray, by indulging in breaks from mindfulness as it's only an impulse away, forgetting the luxury of how your body will pay attention to karmic hints now blocked by naivete. Oh, how we underestimate the length of a day. 8 hours of rest for 16 hours work in child's play, hiding true motive behind what we actually say, forgetting the ancestors and the spirits to whom we should pray for simple solutions as sweet as nectar. Still, you remain my protector, on defense, my reflector of the eye on top of my own, uncovering the reality that is really being shown, and you continue as I grow. To disown the stubbornness I built to protect me. From ignorance alone, you will never let infect me. You connect me to the untapped touch that releases the tip of the tongue. Wise beyond my years and yet are well known by the young, giving melody to the unsung, a hushing peace to the high strung, but only seen among those that seek comfort from the storm, those pouring notions out that often defy the norm, every day tilting the scale of filter and ego being torn, but you are never scorned. For every newborn situation brings a newfound growth to tend. For developing young fingers are always willing to extend toward the guardian whoever ascends and watches over the broken that need most to mend. You draw the words out of me that I have yet to find, despite the foundation of logic on which I have been conditioned. And though I render a body of mere humankind, the courage that you push into my gut is a push into fruition. High priestess, muse of the mind, you are my intuition.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Sam.
Great.
Thank
you.
Sam got some friends. Sam got some friends. All right, hold on. Let me unmute Sam. You should be able to unmute yourself. You should be able to unmute yourself.
Thank you
Sam.
so much.
That was amazing.
Hold on, let me try.
No, you just muted yourself. We heard you. You were good, and then you muted yourself. Try it again. Unmute yourself.
I'm so bad at technology, y'all. I'm sorry, but thank you so much. Thank you, Advocate, for hosting tonight again. It's been a pleasure, y'all. Also for Instagram, you guys can find me on Instagram. That's redundant, at Zaddy_beats. I am a playlist curator. We love the music. We love sharing it. So I'll put all the info in the chat.
Thank you, Sam. Appreciate it. That was Sam Park. Make sure that you go follow her. She had 2 lines in there that I really liked and I wish I wrote. Creating the future from behind. What? And then you are the wolf and I am the wool. Like, it was like, as a poet, it's so upsetting when I hear good lines like that I know I should have written. It was like, damn it, that should be in my poem. Great job. All right, real quick, since we are nearing the end of the hour, one more time, let me thank the National Endowment for the Arts, the NEA, the New York State Council on the Arts, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, Amazon Literary Partnership, and the New York Community Trust for sponsoring our free online events. You too can support us with a tax-deductible donation at www.nuyorican.org/contribute, or you can send money to us on Cash App to Nuyorican Poets Cafe. Those of you who are watching us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, and you want to join us on Zoom, the number is 279-995-364, 279-995-364. The open mic list is closed for tonight. What we do is we open it up at 9 p.m. Eastern the Sunday before the show. So last night we opened it at 9 p.m. Eastern. You go to full events calendar, then you click the nearest Monday, and that's where you would be signed up. You would get a ticket as an artist. So with that being said, let us move right along to the next poet, and that is Jody Ortega. Is Jody here? I haven't seen Jody. Yes, she is. Let me unmute Jody. Should be able to unmute yourself now, Jody.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Scorching hot.
Yeah,
Well,
are you near?
not me. The weather. Yeah, me too. The weather.
Are you near a fan? Because I see like your hair is dancing.
I borrowed Beyonce's wind fan. I'm wearing it right now. She doesn't need it, so I took it from her.
Hey, do what you got to do. You're looking awesome. All right, you ready to rock out?
Yeah, I'm gonna stop the video in case Wi-Fi stops at the U.S. border. One sec.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
They say that a woman should know her place. I couldn't agree more. We know that we belong in the boardroom, weight room, the Senate, outer space. We belong in courtrooms and classrooms and gender-neutral restrooms. We even breastfeed babies that we didn't give life to, because we know that biology is the least of what makes a mother. And if our narrative changes, she can also take on the role of the father. We belong at the altar, looking at our brides, refusing to slow down at wedding kiss. For true love is a hide, because the truth has set us free. Her place is getting up on stage to receive an engineering degree. And we can claim many space in male-dominated occupations. And put your hands up if you know of a woman that has worked 2 jobs just to pay for her tuition. We know that we belong behind the seat of a fighter jet plane, sports race car, the Orbiter Challenger. And we're clever. We can stretch a dollar. We can rebuild a home from the pieces left over by an abusive partner. We can figure out how to pay with a check 77 cents on the dollar. Turning nothing into Thanksgiving dinner is like Jesus walking on water. We belong everywhere, except for underneath the man's hand that Old Testament put us in. Could it be that not raising our daughters just as high as our sons is the actual original sin? We're not just here to turn you on. We do a lot of reading, writing, and earning our birthright since the first dawn. And newsflash, we don't need saving, because women can make that paper without reducing our bodies just for sex. We don't owe you any favors. We are temples of praise, towers of strength, and tunnels of creation. We are worthy to have all of our dreams come to fruition. And if she gave birth to Jesus without having to first marry, then stop giving us patriarchy's shame to carry. End poem.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Jody.
Sweet shit.
Jody.
Go.
Yeah. Say it again.
Make sure you check the chat, Jody. We're about to start a mutiny here, going off. Okay, Jody, where can the people find you online?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram at Don't Run Baby Girl. I'm gonna put it in the chat too.
Awesome.
Thank you. I missed you guys. It was like a month.
I know you need to quit work and just spend time with us. All right, that will improve your life. Okay.
Well, okay. Thank you.
Thank you. That was Jody Ortega. Make sure that you check the chat. Jody, make sure you put your info in the chat for the people to follow. Next coming up is Elaine Nadal. She's been coming like consistently of late, man. I'm happy to see her in her rocking chair. You should be able to unmute yourself now, Elaine. There she is, the published author. How are you, Elaine?
I'm doing well. So nice to see you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad that you keep showing up. You've been sporadic before, but I guess you took the advice I gave to Jody. You quit your job to spend time with us.
You know, I had to.
You see, Jody, if Elaine could do it, you could do it, Jody. Okay, go ahead, Elaine. I'm gonna mute myself. Get into it.
Okay, so I have two short poems. The first one's called Remains. While sleeping, I saw my grandmother in a white nightgown asking for air. A tired angel, but with radiant skin, hidden wrinkles, and stains covered in dye. She knew how to read the lines on the palm of her hand. She knew what was coming. She knew it was close, the day that her nightmare of falling teeth would gain life and she'd have to chew them and taste all the unpleasantness of the past. 3 times raped, 3 dead children. She'd have to experiment the thirst of uncertainty, the doubt, the worst of the abysses, and the guilt of doubting what was lived. She must have heard the crow sing thrice. The sun awoke and there she lay still, with eyes open from fear or from astonishment, without teeth, a smile, or tears, wearing a hospital nightgown that smelled like sweat and wilted flowers. I left a white rose on her tomb, and in her moments of doubt, I convinced myself that such a pure soul could never cease to be. And that was Remains. And the second one is dedicated to my grandmother as well. It's called To the Saxophone Abuela Bought for My Aunt, who later passed it on to my mother, who handed it to me. If I knew how to write a note, I would write one to the saxophone I used to play in my youth. I would write it in pen and include the smudges and crossed out words. I would write it near a window at 5 o'clock in the morning, the same time Abuela would wake up to say her prayers. I would establish a pattern or rhythm and perhaps begin it with a statement identifying myself. Not a question like, do you remember me from high school? But something much more profound. I would express my gratitude for jazz and swing, improvisation and freedom, risk and candor, passion and heart. I would confess how its tone, color, and language have taken my breath away and illuminated my path. My beloved instrument is worthy of a note both flowery and rugged, and if I could, I would write one with conviction and remorse. I would offer an apology for my neglect. I wouldn't mention our disagreements or complain about it squeaking. I wouldn't try to explain that I'd let everything go because I was a little lazy and felt inadequate. My heart has been offbeat. There's so many feelings I wish to release. I wish I could explain that I wasn't disenchanted by its old age or the dent in its bell. I didn't want to change it. I didn't want to repair it, for the dent was evidence of struggle and hard work, and Abuela knew it would mark us forever. Ave Maria, if I could only write an ode, I would remind my esteemed saxophone how it was chosen, how Abuela saved money from her 3 jobs to give us music so we could create our own. I would propose a new beginning. I would end it with what I've learned. Sacrifice and perseverance bear much fruit, and deep-rooted love guides you to growth. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Elaine.
Woo!
Yeah.
Elaine, the doll, I think so many people were making noise that it like kind of like muted because I saw everyone making noise. They were unmuted and I couldn't hear anything. You should be able to unmute yourself, Elaine.
Okay.
There we go. There we go. Wonderful. Where can the people find you online and your published books?
So I'm on Instagram, Elaine_Nadal, and you guys can find my book in Amazon. If you type my name, they both show up. One is When, and the other one is Sweat Dancing Cup.
Awesome. Thank you, Elaine. Make sure you put that info in the chat as well, please.
Thank you for having this space. Adios.
That was Elaine. I muted myself there by accident. There we go. Let me mute Elaine. There we go. All right, cool, cool. I love it. I love the energy we're bringing tonight. That's why every now and then we got to have like no theme, just see what the community organically goes with. Next week's theme, Volta, got to have a turn. That's what we got to have in the poem. So next coming up is Andy Merkert, whose online name is Andy Meerkat. I love it. The first time I read your last name, Meerkat, came to mind. I swear to God, I had to check it for a second. I'm dyslexic.
Yeah, there's a whole story there. I'll tell it sometime.
Andy, how are you this evening?
I'm good, man.
You guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because my internet went out. All right, sorry about that. So how are you this evening?
Oh, I'm all right. I'm kicking.
Awesome. I love the painting behind you as always. All right, I'm gonna mute myself and let you do your thing. Go ahead.
All right, I got two tonight. One's called Fantasy, one's called Today, and I'm just gonna dive right in. I've always loved my flights of fancy, my little escapes, my first class seats on jumbo jets of dreams, comfortably the star of the show, soaring in the sky, reclined in my chair, eating the sugary sweetness of a meal that has no nutrition. Lost in the noise-canceling headphones, playing the tune of Sweet Nothing so that I forget the plane is on fire, and the air is being sucked out, and the mask is falling toward my face, ignored as the altitude drops, the jagged mountains of reality suddenly getting bigger. Why do I love this polished fakeness, the gorgeous, sweet, sugary, artificial that deep down inside I know is a lie? Because I know the labor. Because deep inside the candy factory of me that makes the mask I wear, that makes the mask I show you, lies the little boy at the machine who never sees the sunlight, toiling in the dark and grit and steam, watching the metallic gears chew up the pain to produce the magic you devour, who secretly wants to show you how the machine works and how proud he is of the product. Do you like what I made for you? He whispers. I built it with my love. And then on to today. Under the guidance of our better angels, you, in keeping with the madness, ignore the voices of grace, choose to leave the unheard, articulated suffering of the everyday and numb with the opiates of our technology until it creates in you the absence of critical thought and deficit of your empathy. I loved you once in our finality, in hard-packed truth of paper, fact, and science written in love note. I remember a time that I didn't need to be influenced by the picture of airbrushed better angles. I remember being influenced by the quality of your mind, that influencer was a title of nobility given to a teacher and not the career of the beautiful. I remember when our stories had beginning, middle, end, climax, and redemption, not a tangled web of ugly reality that leveraged the suffering of the broken for the entertainment of the few, when reality was reserved for the intimate adventure of our hands and the love between one another, not a category of entertainment rooted in our lust for superiority. I remember the care we took to spell the entirety of words, giving them precious gifts of time, of space, instead of reducing them to characters painted as ugly clowns meant to limit our expression. I remember when I love you carried sacred weight to be whispered as a prayer at the temple of your soul, and not the simple cartoon picture of a heart scrawled in a message with text that has no feeling and carries no cost. As our world speeds up, car careening off the road, driving headlong toward a cliff edge that could just as well be our middle, just as it could be our end, I want to feel your hand in mine and find our place on the map in a world once again unafraid of touch, once again free to float in the agonizing freefall of the moment. Thank you.
Give it up for Andy. Unmute yourself and clap for him.
Andy.
Meerkats.
Andy.
Go, Andy, go.
We're in tonight. We're in tonight. You should be able to unmute yourself now, Andy. There you go.
Hello.
There you go. Awesome, awesome. Sir, where can the good people find you online?
You can find me on Instagram at Andy Meerkat, and I will chuck that up in the chat.
Please do. And make sure you scroll through the chat. A lot of people were going in, and Miro was going in too. She kept saying a lot of nice things, so make sure you check that out. Andy Meerkat. Speaking of Miro, next coming up is Miro, representing West Virginia. Miro, you should be able to unmute yourself. There we go. How are you this evening?
Hi, I'm good. I'm good. I'm happy to be here yet again.
Yes, I know. I see you in the chat. You're lighting it up. You're really into it. So, all right, you ready to add to tonight's energy?
I am. Thank you.
Okay.
So with the theme of no theme, I actually decided to share a couple of poems that I've been writing with my friend, my very good, almost best, one of my best friends, Jess, in Scotland. Over the past few weeks, we've been writing poems for each other on a variety of themes. So the first one is cake, as in red velvet. And the second one is, the theme was our favorite color. So the first one is called A Slice of Gâteau. I want cake. It is never something I won't take. Make no mistake, I love a slice of gâteau. I'll indulge, savoring, slow. Better than sex, with my track record I reflect. If I just had a slice of kuchen instead of another man, put a gorgeous batter in the oven, take it out once cooked through and risen, let it cool and settle, pile on the icing smooth and gentle, layer by layer like an ogre or an onion, a book or a human. Let the flavor take over my senses and deliver rivers of pleasure, a smile that glitters in spite of the no I shouldn't standards. Luxuriating in this perfect baked delight, instead of trying to satisfy some preoccupied guy, desperately trying to get him to like me. Please, why? Don't deny me. Yeah, if I just had a little piece of cake instead, walked to the bakery, picked it out, brought it home to bed, cozy, happy, satisfying me, then perhaps I would have experienced more gratification rather than fast, meaningless action with some fucker focused only on his needs, chats me up, proceeds. Rude. Thus concludes another shitty interaction with the dude, but with a slice of gâteau. Oh, that's where it's at. When I can truly enjoy myself, just me, no one else. With that part of the kuchen, barefoot in the kitchen, cup of tea, gathering debris with a crumbs and bits of icing with a licked finger, this moment sufficing. Free, happy, alone, me. Thank you. So the next one is simply entitled Blue. Guess what my favorite color is? All right. Blue like the emperor, the jay, the peacock, the forget-me-not. Blue like the heart of the flame, like the sky on a clear day, the starling from whence it came. Blue like the sea, the ocean, radiating with life, with energy. Blue like the morning in all its glory. Blue like the heron unfolding before flight. Blue like fields of anemones, like the clam that yawns open for a long, slow bite. Blue like the damselfly quickly darting before my eyes. Blue like a lost lagoon, like thistles and holly, like Neptune. Blue like these endless orbs that observe, record, laugh, and mourn. Blue like the long lost memory of you and me. Blue like winter, like the painter, my blankets and comforter. Blue like my torn overalls, like waterfalls, like my bedroom walls. Blue like water that nourishes and destroys. Blue like the earth, the Arctic. Blue like the planet. Thank you.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Miro.
Color just changed.
Very nice.
Good.
Cake.
Cake, loving it. I love it. I love the energy and the poetry. The words have me laughing over here. So make sure you also, after we're done, you check the chat so you can see what everyone was talking about. Miro, where can the people find you online?
Alrighty, so I'm on Instagram, Miro Reads Books. Kind of looks like Mirror Reads Books. But that's where I'm at. I'll put it in the chat. And thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Appreciate it. That was Miro. Make sure you put the information in the chat. You guys can go follow her. I'm loving it. I'm loving the energy. I'm glad that there was no theme tonight. Something new, something different. Okay, next coming up is from Colorado, Michael Sindler. Mike, you should be able to mute yourself. There you go. How are you this evening, Michael?
Hello, everybody. Good to be here. And man, a lot of great stuff going on. Jesus Christ. So much good poetry.
No pressure, but you got to add to the energy now. It's your turn, Michael.
I just, listening to Miro is making me hungry. So I'm like, oh, what the hell? I'll do something about food. This is called Fruit Basket for Giuseppe Arcangelo. I'll just go with it. I am not a piece of fruit. I'm a basket full of many. Some hard as stone, some ripe, some fermenting into a putrefying mush. I offer myself in pieces, either chunks or sections, alternately or with or without my concealing, protecting peeled skin that I cling to at times and at others shed gladly. Parts of me release seeds easily to grow into fresh new forms, while some cling to hard pits and must be scraped, wedged, or rooted away with effort. Some parts of me are pungent with earthiness, some well nigh without sensation, still, pale, nearly tasteless, either from need to ripen further or from having been picked too soon or too harshly to develop. These parts will rot away without bringing joy to lips or tongues. Sometimes I long to be cooked down with sugar or honey into a sticky jam. Sometimes I wish to be pulp purified and squeezed into a liquid essence. My parts may be enjoyed separately, but may well best be enjoyed as a salad, differing textures, forms, and flavors, combining into a juicy storytelling melange no simple growth can provide. No single taste can explain. All that I am, all that I can be, all that I can offer is in this basket. Use it as you wish. And got time for another one, right?
Yeah, you got a quick one?
Yeah, this is, for once I'm going to do something really new. It's called Expired Tickets, Memento Mori. These tickets aren't for a prayer wheel. There's no payout, just more time in the jail cell of a cranium crammed with corroded thoughts. There's a skull and a skull for each explanation you bought without waiting to find out where it came from, or if it was dangerous, if it would lead to mayhem. Tickets clicking through your teeth like a dry tongue ripped off one by one, song sung, bell rung, ideas dancing like a rat on a spinning wheel, every step like the last leading nowhere. Once the ticket runs out, what will there be? Who's the master of the show? Violins hum from the bow, often open lips hang empty with no answer, feet step to the tune, one trick dancer. There's no question, so don't ask me. There's no refund when you get in free. Easy entry with a push. The light so bright. The long, slow exposition of the story. Brief candle illuminates the shadow play. flicker of time till it sputters and expires. One ticket only, one performance signifying nothing, sold out before anyone knew what was coming. Can't find the exit, but it's always straight ahead. Between each pregnant pause, we circle round instead, always madly questioning, out of mind is out of head. A hand grasp says, alas, the circling of a coil, a walking shadow of a gesture revolves but never resolves. Expectation of expiration, disappointment without termination, whereas anywhere that could be there and done, seems there's none. Thank you.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Michael.
Yes.
All right, all right.
Very nice.
Michael Sandler representing Colorado. Let me unmute yourself. Michael, I know you don't have an online presence outside here.
I got nothing, man. Just move it on. Okay.
Michael, I appreciate you as always, brother. Thank you. That was Michael Sandler representing Colorado. And there is a scene out there in Denver. Y'all better check it out. I know some people out there. Next coming up is a woman who's been very excited tonight with everyone's poems, and that is Kai Brackens. Hi, Kai. How are you?
I've been doing pretty good. How are you, Advocate?
I see you up in the production value. You've got your own audience in the house cheering for you. That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yes. He's a little unruly, so we might have to cut him eventually, but like, I love you. Don't be mad.
Take another turn of the red.
We'll work with it. We'll work with it. Go ahead, Kai. Get into it.
All right, so this is something I wrote today. It's called Me Being Cute and Unbearable Like Usually, because I love you. Okay, anyways, and so the first part is just a little bit of something I wrote. Doesn't have a melody, I just sing. So there we go. Hey, my pretty baby, let's talk about love. Oh, sweet, sweet, sweet love. Let's talk about forever. Just you and me, boy. Let's talk about us forever. Can you give me that, boy? Yes, darling, let's talk about our wedding day, set in the middle of May. That's where I want to be with you, my pretty baby. I love you. I never used to imagine a day where I would be laying in the same bed as the man I love, not wondering if this good fortune is more mirage than miracle. Even less that there would be a day I would find a man I would be willing to have a family with. You see, when divorce is a word spelled out around you as a statistic more than a tragedy, and your parents painted a day where the fear of it was more likely than the boogeyman, you tend to stop wearing white in your daydreams and instead settle on black to mourn your broken family. That is never to say divorce is not right or the real-time feelings of those involved are not valid. It's more to say, when the only true example of love you've ever seen is your parents, you begin to stop dreaming about marriage. After all, their love story was your favorite. And then there comes someone who makes all the difference. At last, my love has come along. Yeah, when he walks into your life, it finally is like being saved, and you notice from the beginning he's not like the rest. You quit your bad habits and take up the new obsession of being a better version of yourself. They say that when you're ready for love, you'll know. And honestly, that's a bunch of bullshit, because it always seems that you're never quite ready, but for that person you want to be. You see, because of my baby, I croon sweet nothings in his ears, and when I say I love you, I mean it every time. Oh, pretty baby, and if it's quite all right, I'll call you baby. He calls me baby and honeybee, and I melt when he does. I want kids with him and make up a family that is not the brand of insensitivity and fucked up that mine was growing up. I love the way he squeezes me and kisses me and takes me on dates because he likes to show me off. Like, of course. Anyways, and I used to think that I needed the finer things in life to be happy because some people want it all. I used to think I needed to live this life wild and elusive to be truly happy. but everything means nothing if I don't have you. You see, my mom used to caution me, saying a lot of times we marry people like our parents. That I had to grow up being afraid to marry someone like my father who would play sweet when you were giving them what they want and then abuse you and make it all your fault. I grew up even more afraid that I'd end up marrying someone like my mother who'd play head games with me and make me feel awful just so they could play hero again. And every partner between us had been a little bit of both in all the bad ways. And then the sweetest boy comes along, and for the first time, I don't see a carbon copy of my parental trauma. Instead, a whole new start where we get to begin again and retrain ourselves to be the person we were before trauma. And honestly, I don't have a good way to end this poem. I could go on forever because he has so much to praise and love, but instead, I guess I'll just have to leave with 1, you're like a dream come true. 2, just wanna be with you. 3, boy, it's plain to see that you're the only one for me. Yeah. Because you got me helpless, my baby, I love you. And that's all I got for y'all today.
Unmute yourself here for Kai.
All right.
Serenaded.
Kai's trying to get some tonight. I think she's going to be successful. Kai, where can the people follow you online, even though you probably won't respond to messages to tomorrow because your night is packed?
You think I'll respond tomorrow either? Nah.
Did you see how much singing I did? Yo, that's a week's worth. I got you. All right.
You can find me at Kai_LoudFatMixPoet on IG. Also on IG at Kylene2001, or on Facebook if you're old school like me, at Kylene Bracken. So find me in any of those places.
Thank you, Kai. I appreciate it. Kai Brackens, make sure you go follow her. Put that info in the chat, Kai. Do kissy face with Max later. Go put your info in the chat so the people can find it. Then you can go kissy face all you want. All right, cool. Next coming up is the wild card. Tonight has been a wild card night because we have no theme. So now we're bringing in the wild cards for the wild card night, and that is the withdrawn. Brother, you should be able to unmute yourself now.
What's good, man? How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm a little nervous for you, though. I don't know how you're going to follow that up, man. I don't know. You may have to drag Bay into the room and serenade her, too.
I'm good, man.
All right. You ready to go in, brother?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. So I have 6 pieces. They're all very short. So the first one's called, Are You Living or Do You Just Exist? This is the question I have for you right now. But even before all this, were you living or just existing? Is there really nothing else to do? Or is that what you've convinced yourself? The second one is called Devil on My Shoulder at 11 p.m. on March 1st, 2020. He asked me if I remember those thoughts my financial situation would bring me 2 years ago. If I wanted to feel that way again. That there was an easy way out if I still wanted it. That it could all be put to an end very, very easily. It would not require suffering because it was an end to suffering. I verbally told myself that I am not going back to those thoughts. And it was at that moment that I realized I had a choice in deciding whether I wanted to listen to God or the devil. I chose God. That was the second one. Third one is, I had to thank God for them this morning. Women, they are something else. Oh, how us men are so blessed to be able to live with such individuals. Look at you killing it in that black dress, and you in the purple. Go on with your bad selves. No lust or dirty thoughts, just simply admiring the many Mitch ways all these women come. That was the third one. The fourth one is called Love at First Light. When I first saw you on that screen, I knew I had to double tap and slide in your DMs because photo comments don't grab your attention. Plus, everyone does that. But everyone messages too, talking about how you cute Or if they had your body, what they do to you. Whatever approach is probably the direction the relationship will go. What are the chances, though, that you'll see what I have to say? I don't even know, but I'm a message anyway. You don't yet know this, that I'm a poet. I have a way with words to win you over all smooth and respectfully. Unlike 99% of these fools, she responds, finally, with just a heart reaction. Just about the trashiest thing you could do. But you know what? I ain't tripping. It's cool. In my head, I transfer over a hug and congratulate her for lucking out on a good dude. And the next one is called There's Never an L in My Book, Just Experience. Sometimes our time with others gets cut short, and we hold on to the idea that there was so much potential for it to have been something beautiful. But truthfully, what was already beautiful, whether it was long or short. It is important that we don't get so caught up in that idea of the potential to the point where it stops us from appreciating the experience of what happened and the time we were given to experience it. And then the last one is called Really Realize When You Get What You Ask For. Be grateful when you get what you want. I think sometimes we get so blinded in not getting every part of that thing we desired that we barely pay attention to the fact that we still got what we asked for. It may not always come to you how you want it, but maybe it was meant to be given to you in this way. That if it happened 100% exactly how you requested, it wouldn't have served you in the best way. Even if it's 20% and the other 80 is just what didn't happen, that 20% might be better than that 100. It's not wrong to want more for yourself. It's only wrong when you don't acknowledge all that was done / is being done for you. No matter what, always be appreciative and always remember to say, thank you. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for the withdrawn.
Get it.
All right. Very nice.
Wild card, the withdrawn. See, the Holy Spirit tried to get in his face from that poem. Had to wipe it away. Hey, I'm trying to finish this poem, man. Trying to let me finish this poem, man. Brother, where can the people find you online?
At The Withdrawn on Instagram, and the website is thewithdrawn.com. Thank you so much. I appreciate the love and blessings always. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. That was The Withdrawn. Man, you call the Holy, when you get that deep in your poems, you call the Holy Spirit, try and get up in your face, man. The Withdrawn, look him up online, his website, and he's on different social media handles at The Withdrawn. Wild card for the night, man. You never know when you're gonna get with him. Next up is Brian Franco, but I don't see him, which is a little disconcerting because he's always on. Oh, there he is. There he is. Let me unmute him. You should be able to unmute yourself, Brian. Hey, there we go. How are you, brother?
I'm trying. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear, man. Hear you loud and clear. You
Right. I've got a brand new piece, and I had the first line of this poem for about a month. Didn't know what I could do with it. Got stuck a bit, but I figured the whole thing out this afternoon just in one fell swoop. It's kind of, when that happens. So I've titled this Because Dervishes Still Whirl on Hotter Than July Nights. I am standing still, stagnating while the world around me is swirling and twirling. My existence is being dizzied by whirling dervishes that may only exist in my imagination by virtue of anxiety or doctor-prescribed medication. I feel I've fallen into an eddy, drowning, trying to climb out, fingers haplessly gripping water droplets. But I am not in any body of water except maybe a sweaty pillow on an extremely hot, humid, unair-conditioned July night. I stand by my assessment that Stevie Wonder's Hotter Than July is undisputedly one of the top 5 soul albums of all time. I am 54. I am no longer 54, but 14, obsessed with Stevie's music. Having tried tequila for the first time, having had 1 or 2 shots too many, my brother Paul awkwardly walks me up 2 flights of stairs to my bedroom, pushes his drunken brother onto my bed, and walks away like cackling like a Shakespearean witch. I am on my back horizontally on a vertical bed. My brain tries to instruct me how to reorient my head to my pillow. The ceiling starts spinning relentlessly like a possessed wheel of fortune minus a smiling Vanna White. It decides to mess with my mind and change directions. But this is just a memory of a middle-aged man living in a self-imposed isolation in a pandemic who feels like little tornadoes follow him around, selectively sucking any common sense or creativity left in his being out from his brain through his ear sockets without lifting his substandard mass into the eddies in the air. Maybe I should follow the advice of the mystic poets who say to celebrate life by dancing instead of watching others dance. Become a whirling dervish in my own right, because the dervishes teach us if we teach ourselves to whirl and twirl, we are not culturally appropriating, but we have learned by watching them how to not let life make us feel falsely dizzy. Thank you.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Brian.
Thanks, Brian. Thank you.
Brian Franco. Unmute yourself one more time, Brian, and let the people know where they can follow you online.
I just be on Facebook.
I'm Brian Franco, as simple as that. And I'm loving the new background too. I know you had it on Thursday, but it's the first time I've seen it on Monday.
Melons.
What is it?
They're teeny tiny cucumbers. They're called cucamelons.
Awesome. They look good.
The top of your pinky. They're delicious.
Oh, I'm gonna look that up now because they look good. Brian, thank you so much. Brian Franco, he's a regular here on Monday night. You can check him out on Facebook. Brian Franco, when you spell Brian, it's with a Y, Bryan. Next coming up is Rosie's partner, and that is Paul Conqueso. I thought he'd get a kick out of that. You should be able to unmute yourself, Paul. Can you?
Yeah, I like being the accessory. I like being the arm candy, you know? We don't get to be arm candy enough. We deserve it, you know?
There you go, man. There you go with your fresh shirt, showing up the chest hair. You've been working out. You're looking good, man.
I'm trying. I mean, I haven't really been able to because the world is shut down, but I try to get it when I could get it, you know?
Yeah. Rosie's about to have some competition.
The no theme had me really fucked up this week, Advocate. Like, it had me fucked. I was stressing here, like, trying to choose between 3 poems at the last minute because I'm like, I'm not locked into a theme, so I could do anything. It's too many options, you know?
And that's why you got Rosie. Then you let her decide.
That's true, I did. That's absolutely what I did. All right, so I'm gonna get to it. All right. So this is a literally just finished today piece, and once again, I'm always doubting my shit, but this is called Anti-Venom. Self-doubt is a lot like poison. It gets in the veins and will stay until either you suck it out or it ends you. This viper-like cloud of talking down through voices and head, anti-counseling, downtrodden, fang-sinking, stingers, stinging, pinchers, clamping, necromancing the dead of missed opportunity. Zombie bites to neck, turning you nihilist, this parasite seemingly from nowhere latching onto skin to form supersuit of symbiotic abuse, and whose venomous sharpened saw-like teeth should peer back from the mirror but yours, before you head into the night. No web-slinging, truth-bringing hero here or super soldier serum to save your soul. Just carnage of carnal instinct. You are not the protagonist in this comic strip, friendly neighborhood do-gooder spider kid. This transmuting mutant power only patrols streets to feed. I have long felt an avenger on the verge of vengeance over relentless sacrifice. But that mindset of blind heroism is precisely what got Iron Man killed. Had he kept narcissist and not fallen for Pepper and had a kid who loved him 3,000, perhaps he would have stuck around long enough to rust and gray. But is that the heroic way? Should I be the Hamilton to act on ideals and write like I'm running out of time, patterning vernacular to pen my own narrative, music and lyrics and languish over it like Lin-Manuel Miranda did? Or in this internal rivalry, am I key antagonist, the Aaron Burr biding my time, strategically pacing for my place in history to wait for it, ideal opportunity to pounce? I am perhaps too OCD, controlling, afraid to be out of control, knowing I am the one thing in life I can truly manipulate. What is it like in the shoes of any man more certain in his circumstance? If only I could change my place, Freaky Friday my way, into the verse of a less self-effacing, deprecating, self-deflating dirigible, pushing pins into my own airship, consuming helium of this, Archimedes principled air balloon basket weaved, displacing the buoyancy of my own flight. If I was myth, you would call me Icarus, wax wings beating against this heat of sun, burning me up at both ends. Aerodynamic scrambling for parachute, only to be consumed by sea of my own salty contingency, ambition not grand enough. I am just arrogant, flapping hubris. Like wings made of paper mache, confidence combustible as propane, flammable pain. I learned the hard way from my mother, the hummingbird, that as hard as wings beat, so does the heart, and that lends itself to not only art, which outlasts, but early death from cardiac arrest, and the hardened arteries of her fast flapping lifestyle robbed her from me at the fledgling age of 20. And quite starkly, that's why I can't be Iron Man or Tony Stark. This arc reactor of my chest will always hold whole, will always be primarily for itself until it won't, until I found the antidote for this venom within, siphoning poison from skin. You see, when you find the thing or things that allow your heart to propel itself with seemingly no effort, just let it beat. Whether that's love, family, or poetry, flap those wings. Because when you and divine energy connect in synergy, you feed that goddamn thing until it can no longer eat. Overstuff its gut with anti-venom. Do not sit on your hands and wait for it to be subdued or come to you. We will never lose the venomous, the poison kiss. It's the necessary double edge of this weaponized life. But remember, the antidote always comes from the poison itself. And you cannot be cured unless you submit to the fact a bit of venom helps to kill the doubt within ourselves. We all hold the cure. Our body houses the virus as well as the key to the vaccine. And I guarantee, hard as I try to self-sabotage, this time I am not throwing away my shot.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Rosie's partner.
Headliner.
Yes, Paul.
Thank you.
Headliner.
Eso.
Paul con queso, also known as Headliner con queso. Let me unmute him. Paul, you should be able to unmute yourself and let the good people know where they can find you online.
You can find me at Paul Con Queso on IG and Venmo. I also want you to follow my my Students Literary Magazine page on IG, because we got a magazine launch on Sunday for I Can't Breathe magazine. All of our proceeds, everything this magazine is driven toward is social justice driven. We got a bunch of New Yo fam published in there. Roz, Ray Jane, Wendy, Kai, and others. I'm not going to shout everybody out, but we got at least like 10 New Yo names. So y'all just got to come out to the Zoom meeting on Sunday to support and see everybody read and beast. And I will drop their IG, which is at BC_underground_. So I'll put that in the chat again, but look for it. All right, y'all.
Awesome. Thank you, Paul. Make sure you guys check the chat so when he drops that info, you can go and follow. See, this is why we're supposed to follow everyone. This is why I ask everyone what their Instagram handles are, their Twitter, Facebook, because people are connecting. As much as I want you guys to wait for Monday night and come and hang out with me, also want you to connect on the other days of the week. So make sure that you go give him a follow everyone who has been mentioned tonight. Now coming up, someone we haven't seen in a while. Oh no, I think it's just been 2 weeks maybe, and that is Diane Ward. Where is Diane? I saw Diane here earlier. Diane, oh, there she is. I see it. Let me unmute her. You should be able to unmute yourself now, Diane. There we go. How are you this evening?
I'm fine. I was here last week as one of the audience. It was wonderful. Thank you.
Oh, that's what it is. You see, you skip a week. It feels like forever. I miss you.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're here tonight. All right. And I see our friend Ron is here checking out. So he's heard enough of my voice. He wants to hear your voice. Go ahead, Diane.
All right.
Get into it.
Thank you. She no longer felt the grime, just the futile tugs on her once milk-heavy bosom. Forward her legs commanded her crippling toes, as cramping dared to test her thighs. Her thighs quieted and thought otherwise, remembering the earlier bruising her fisting them into submission caused. Quieting body parts was a mental exercise of control she mastered and slipped only momentarily when overly stressed. Her ganglia were back in control. She gingerly tapped the ground, no longer confident of its stability, since now it can turn to dust like quicksand under her bony feet. Without ground, you grow wings and fly, right? Weightlessness her mind enjoyed. Escapism saves her sanity, she believes. She no longer felt the grime, just living the crime. The baby's skin was dry from exposure since their clothes are now tattered. She cannot find food or water. Now she travels to in-laws, hoping they are still alive after this disaster. Phones won't work since all satellites are inoperable, leaving communication left to strangers who appear as either doom prophets or hope and salvation loudmouths, while others are blatant prostitution profiteers. Begging for food is the norm, which gives voice to the only word spoken because I'm starving is everyone's mantra now. She no longer felt the grime, just living the crime. How big can sinkholes be? How many can occur all at once? Can't we see under the ground? Can't we find these cruel anomalies without radar? Can't we see these weaknesses before they birth cabins? My sinking and crawling out and almost making it is to where exactly? Rescuers are falling deeper into these crevices, the abyss, the dark holes, these internal reverse craters. No warning. How long have I been climbing? How long have I been walking and still nothing looks the same? Signs are gone. The earth is sucking us in all at once, all over the world. Sinkholes simultaneously occurring. The earth must look like a deflated, lopsided handball. The last broadcaster she saw described it that way before they too suddenly disappeared. She no longer felt the grime. She's living the crime. She truly believed that the earth is taking us in as nutrients, replenishing what we robbed and wasted, slurped, gurgled, and tainted. Now we're being suckled. The sky as Earth's nursemaid fails in attempts to wipe our face and clean us up from our mess. No wonder the sky is murky and the air dust-laden, for now the sky looks like the Earth's soiled white cloth. The newly birthed russet sun defecates blood-dark clouds. Humans caused this rash. She no longer felt the grime. She's living the crime. She tried to remember the taste, fluidity, and softness of water, the crunch of it crushed, and solidity of shaped and slick ice cubes. She tried to remember smiles and the smell of foods, flowers, trees, and freshly cut grass. She tried to remember the smell of babies bathed and lotioned, and their sweet breath and dribble-laden toothless grins. There was no more whining. Whimpering transformed into mute limpness. Unable to cry, her swollen eyes twitch from tearless ducts. No heat emanates from her baby. She began to chirp like a songbird between laboring breaths. She's now at a point past hunger, and her body, like a shared chemistry set, has elements missing. Suddenly, a crowd appeared, wilder and more desperate than others she passed. They looked hungrily at her once muscular thighs, which she now gave permission to cramp because she no longer.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Diane.
Damn, queen.
Good job, Diane.
Love that. I loved it. I think this is the second poem tonight you heard that like it kind of ended. You thought it was going to keep going, but like that abrupt ending. Oh, I love it. Again, you should be able to unmute yourself, Diane. There we go. Oh, so glad you're here tonight. Diane, where can the people find you online?
They can find me only here and with Ron. That's it.
That's it. With Ron Mark Thompson, your bodyguard, right. And here at the New York Monday Night Online. Diane, thank you so much. I appreciate you as always. That was Diane Ward. I love it, man. I'm feeling the night. Yeah, we got more time before the next hour. Okay, next coming up is a person who is real, Mariela Cabrera. Mariela, the real Cabrera. You should be able to unmute yourself. How are you this evening?
Oh, hello.
It's
real.
Yes. For those who don't know, for a long time, Mariella was just watching. She never put her video on. And I was starting to think that maybe like I had my ex stalking me or something or whatever. But no, Mariella is a real person. She was not trying to fish our account. So, okay, I'm gonna mute myself. Mariella, get into it.
Okay, just FYI, I'm from New York City, from Queens. I have been to New York, so don't unmute me. I've been to New York about 3-4 times. But yeah, I have been writing all my life. I haven't been writing for the past 2 years, but you guys you've been my fully motivation to write. And I'm gonna share 2 pieces, very, very old pieces, about 13, 15 years old. I've lost most of my things, so this is the only 2 pieces that's been surviving. So let me go. It's a good one and a bad one. Let me do the bad one first and then the good one. So the first one is called All That He Hates. I guess he hates the way I dress, a mess of stress nevertheless. He hates the way I speak, a crack of this voice turns into an invoice. He hates my hair, can bear to see the flare in the air. He hates the way I speak. No, sorry. He hates the shape of my body, fruitful, what a sloppy sassy. He hates my clothes and it blows to show all this afterglow while he's shallowing away with no remorse. He hates my glasses, same thing about my classes. This is just becoming a land of molasses, of massive molasses. How the fuck can I surpass this? He hates my eyebrows, but how? He hates my nails, details travel as fast as an email telling me don't you leave any trails, yet my fingernail sails away to bail you away. He hates my tattoos, calling me a cuckoo, yet he is the one still confused. Yet he is the one with the abuse, infused with excuses, what an amuse. He hates to touch me as much as he loves to judge me. Can't even fuck me, I get stuck just waiting for some luck, yet I get thunderstruck. He hates everything about me and loves nothing of me. Boy, you don't quit bluffing, bugging, puffing away love like it ain't nothing, thinking you stunning, stop all this trusting, it's fucking disgusting. That's the first one. The second one, I'm gonna try. I'm a little nervous the first time me performing, so I'm trying to get there, guys. So work with me. I have my mom right next to me, so she's nervous, she's drinking, so work with me, guys. The next one is good. This is called Thinking of You. This one is about roughly 15 years old, actually. This is called Thinking of You. When I think of you, trust that you ain't got a clue, as I hide my feelings that only brings this fear in me. And I know and have noticed that I got you thinking, so tonight I'm going to bring something. So hear me out. I'm going to tear my heart out tonight as it shouts all of your doubts. There will be this route that we're going tonight. There will be this that will only hold out to then hand out all that I have carried out. So as I tear out all of my hideouts tonight, the moon will be so bright that it will be the spotlight of my inspirational, mindful feelings. And as I think of you, all sort of things happen to my body. Boy, you have this fire in you, from the way you look to those gorgeous eyes and the soft lips as my tongue slips inside your mouth. And as our tongues meet, to the way you dress and your soft masculine skin, boy, that fire in you. And you ain't got a clue. I ain't scared to touch, to clutch as such, to retouch my words, to make you understand this love and above, and as I shove it to you, and it's impossible. And boy, as I take that, I'm so sorry. As I take a seat to beat the seat, this feeling that has cheated its way inside me, this heat that I'm talking about is this fear I carry, this fear of love and this love to love you. So just promise me you'll be gently mindful that my love for you is endlessly. And if you take this journey, your past will only become a history. So start to embrace a future quiet like a trace to the heavens. And that's it.
Unmute yourselves and give it up for Mariella.
Let's go. Sorry, you guys. I got
Yeah.
Build it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mariella Cabrera. I'm a little embarrassed. I didn't know she was going to share the poem that she wrote about me. So I just want to apologize to everyone. So hold on, let me unmute Mariella. I'm only joking. Tell the poem wasn't about me. Hi to Mama Mariella. Thank you for joining us as well. Hi, Mom.
We had a couple of drinks, so trying to let go of my little nerves here. So thank you so much, guys.
You were wonderful. You were wonderful. Where can the people follow you online, Mariella?
I really don't post my stuff. This is the first time really putting myself out there, performing to everybody. But if you guys want to follow me, I'm on IG. I really don't post much, but I'm trying. I'm getting there. You can find me Ella Mermaid 25 _ or Facebook Mariela Mariela Cabrera Cabrera. Or there are some people who love to spell my name with double L's. So I have a Facebook for Mariela Cabrera with double L.
That's smart. That's smart. Mariella, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your poems and sharing Mom. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm not sure if Roz is here, but if she's not, it's okay. But I just want to shout out to Roz. On a personal level, we've been speaking here and there. I just want to shout out to Roz. She's an amazing, amazing person. So shout out to Roz.
Shout out to homie Roz. Thank you, Mariella. Mariella Cabrera. Make sure that you follow her. Put your info in the chat too, Mariella. Thank you. Thank you. And next time we're going to get Mom to share her poems and she can hear me. So the Mom could drink and share her poems. It's all good. All right, Mom, get yourself a drink, a pen and pad, and get to it. All right, real quick, since we are at the turn of the hour, one last time, we would thank the NEA, the New York State Council on the Arts, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, Amazon Literary Partnership, and the New York Community Trust for sponsoring our free online events. You too can support us with a tax-deductible donation at www.nuyorican.org/contribute, or you can send your donation to our Cash App to Nuyorican Poets Cafe. This is always streamed on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. But if you want to join us on Zoom, the number is 279-995-364. We do this every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern. If you want to sign up, you go to nuyorican.org, you click on full events calendar, and then you would click on the Monday that you want to sign up for. And you would get a ticket as if you were an artist. But the open mic list does not open up until the Sunday night before, Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And of course, you could follow me, Advocate of Words. I'm doing a feature with the Nuyorican on Friday with Truly Vision. And on Saturday, I'm hosting an erotic open mic. So make sure that you follow me for all that information. Getting back to why we came here for, we are going back to the poetry with J. Martin Strangeweather. Where is he? There he is. Let me unmute him. Baby, unmute yourself now. No.
What's up, Advocate? Hey,
there we go. I know you had trouble getting on last time. I'm glad you're here this week, brother. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. It's a little hot here, but that's all right.
And where are you located again?
I'm in Santa Ana in Southern California.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I can imagine it's hot out there. And I'm loving your room, man. It looks like books and comic books too, and novels and stuff. Like, you know, when you're going to invite me to come hang out, man, so I can read your stuff. That looks awesome.
Advocate, you come over whenever you want, man. You come over whenever you want.
Oh, shoot. I'm going to come over. We're going to get festive. All right, and read. But all right, I'm going to mute myself. Go ahead. Do your thing, man.
All right. So first, we're going to start off with a bedtime story. Two quick pieces. A bedtime story. There once was a boy who thought he was a man. Not just any man, a great man, an important man. The boy considered himself a great and important man because he had accumulated a fraction of the knowledge an ant could know, believing this made him wiser than a worm or a gnat or a dung beetle. The boy who thought he was a man was actually a beast who thought it was a god, and the beast who thought it was a god was actually stardust that had forgotten it was a star. And all the stars had forgotten who they were before the Big Bang. And the Big Bang had forgotten it was only a pendulum swing away from the cosmic crunch. And the cosmic crunch had forgotten how everything was triggered by the anomalous asymmetry, otherwise known as the original trap. This next piece is, it's a love poem of sorts. The Church of Love. Frustrated words clotting in their mouths like minor strokes. the squinched expression of hatred neither would ever admit. I don't hate you, said the husband. I'm not your enemy, said the wife. The necessity of such declarations hinting otherwise. Blaspheming each other throughout breakfast, dinners bottled up in silence, hours lost to seconds of sensitivity or lack thereof, whole days devoted to the production of fresh, hot tears, fragments of insults, floating jabs of brutal insight. These were the hymns echoing through their cathedral. The English translation of the Greek translation of Hebrew, splayed in crucifixion across the lectern, was not the true form of their Bible. If they were able to show you the true form of their Bible, it would be written in the round, no beginning, no end, like a Rolodex turned on its side. If they were able to show you the true form of their Bible, it would stand 100 stories tall, with 1,000,001 pages, and each page would be made of steel 10 feet thick, each word engraved in the subatomic language of eternity. If they were able to show you the true form of their Bible, you would never be able to read it.
Unmute yourself and give it up for J. Martin Strange Weather. Clap for him.
So wise. So good.
Oh shoot, they saying you a sage
Hey.
poet. They saying you a sage poet. Hold on, let me make sure everyone's muted and unmute Mr. Strange Weather. Okay, you should be able to unmute yourself, brother.
I don't know if I'm a sage, but I'm definitely a mad scientist. So
There you go. There you go. Bro, where can the people follow you online?
You can find me on Facebook under J. Martin Strangeweather. I have a website, jmartinstrangeweather.com. I have a book. It's called Gorb in the Schizocratic Lingoverse. It's very odd.
Yeah. Say that title again. I love it. Say it again.
Gorb in the Schizocratic Linguiverse. Yeah, it's not the catchiest title ever, that's for sure.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Sir J. Martin Strangeweather. Also put your information in the chat so that people can copy and paste it. Next coming up is, I've seen the name before, but I don't know if she's rocked out. Kate Felix. Kate, have you performed here on Monday night before?
No, not last week was the first time I ever came.
Oh, okay. That's where I remember the name from. Cool. So where are you located?
Toronto.
Toronto. Awesome. I've heard Toronto's like a small, cleaner version of New York. Have you ever been to New York City?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Is that
I
right?
like to think of Toronto as a small version of New York.
No. It's its own beast. Okay.
It's its own thing. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. I keep being told to go to Toronto. I'd love to. But
Don't get me wrong. I love New York. It's a different situation.
Yeah. Now I'm ready to leave New York, but we're not going to talk about that now. All right. Go ahead, Kate. Go ahead. Share your poetry.
All right. You all are being super deep today, so mine's not as deep. I'll just warn you right there. I'm gonna do my short one first. It's about crappy exes that won't go away, and it's called "Shall I Compare Thee to a Trash Panda," which is Toronto slang for a raccoon, in case the New York people aren't down with that lingo. So here goes. In midnight dives, you stalk your sloppy seconds. Tooth and claw, you pry wide my defenses, slide your eyes beneath the bones of dinners unconsumed. Feast on heaps of tissues and the salt of my sighs. I rise to bemoan the cracks of simmering street, brimming high with my perfectly packaged trash. Now disemboweled, strewn awry on the drive as the sky cackles, scorches while you snore sated in some filthy den, grinding your incisors, masticating, anticipating the complicit moon and how it will shine on your nigh triumph. So that's the first one. And then my next one is a little bit longer, and it's a story. Actually, I should have read it last week, but I didn't have the guts. It's a bit of a dream one, and it's a good bedtime story. It's called Bone Jacked. Have you come to Boogie Baby? The janitor stands alone on the dance floor, and he sways in the orbit of its still moon. And tiny diamonds hover, but do not give chase as he sweeps forward remnants of torn tassels and lipstick-kissed cigarettes. What's that look I see in your eye? He points a steeled toe, slides it across the vinyl tiles as they simmer in the embers of the trembling light. And the exit sign flickers as the street's breeze eases a breath of glitter across the room, and the janitor extends his fingers and closes them around over his outstretched palm, and he strikes a pose. Yeah, Daddy, that's right. Get down, get down. And the stars blur around him as they stretch thin the decades, and needle drops, a turntable starts, and the janitor starts to spin. Explode with me, baby, into hyperspace. He is ensorcelled by visions of his dynamite baby as she boogies with the wings of heaven on her shoes, her arms like melamine, yet unbruised, yet unbitten, weave like ribbons through the electric air. You feel that, sugar? You feel it coming? And she beckons him with serpentine hips as he sways toward her, an errant curtain caught in the torrent of her unexpected gust. And he feels the wisps of her pull him tight, his vixen of velour, his panther of the pickerel print platforms, this ghostly vision of his years gone love and its undoing. You shake, you dance, you hurt. Sorry. I just got rocked by the page up, page down here. His fingers descend the smooth shaft of his broomstick as he casts his line to reel her in, and she vibrates on the wire, twirls inward, and penetrates his chest like gunfire or a needle through his soft flesh. Give me some skin, brother. That's right. That's right. And he leans back on the broomstick long and against his locked knee as he invites his sweet apparition to toboggan the slope of his velveteen thigh. And she ascends the gorge of his sequin neckline, and he whispers a prayer into her cream-rinsed hair, staying alive, staying alive. And his dynamite baby's limbs scissor sideways as the janitor lifts her skyward, and together they rocket through the celestial blur, past the tendrils of her terrible tomorrows, the heartaches, the hospitals, the potions, the pills, the cluster of cables that failed to restart her heart of glass. Say your prayers, baby, just don't care. And he launches her forward into the feverish night, propels her past the motionless moon, and watches as her body writhes toward the surface of the sun. And then his dynamite baby starts to sizzle as the needle slips its groove and the record stops. Burn, baby, burn. And the broomstick clatters from the janitor's hands and comes to rest atop the pile of the midnight's leavings, and the grit of the floor penetrates the thin layer of his brown corduroy knees, and his ragged breath spreads across the ruffled cinders of the disco. Catch you on the flip side, sunshine. Baby, turn me loose. That's it.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Kate Felix.
Oh, Toronto.
Yes.
Oh, Toronto, yes. All right, let me unmute Kate one last time so that she can speak. There you go.
All
so
right.
Kate, where can the people find you online?
I put my Twitter in my thing on the bottom there if you click on it, but it's I'm Kitty_Flash on Twitter, and Kate Felix Film, all one word, on Instagram.
Also, you do film production, director? What do you do?
Yeah, I'm a filmmaker as well. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. I love it. I've done film too. I love it. Behind and in front of the camera. Awesome. I love it. I love it. Kate, make sure that you come back and join us again, will you?
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. That was Kate Felix. Yes. Tonight is awesome. I think we've had like 5 or 6 new people or people sharing with us for the first time. It's been fantastic. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to Net Vega for coming in. See you always lighting up the chat room. AMD, I don't know who you are, but your video is looking fire as always. Shout out to Marlene. I know she's on the waiting list. We may get her, we may not, but I wanted to shout her out. No, you're not. No, okay. Mashid, always in the chat room lighting it up. I appreciate it. Ray Jane, who's also on the waiting list. I don't know if we're gonna get to her, but she checked in and she's always performing. She stuck around to listen to everyone. The homie Ron Mark Thompson, who's also Diane Ward's bodyguard. Brother, I appreciate seeing you. nor mathematics. We may get to him on the waiting list, not sure, but I see him. He joined us. Umberto Marte, always coming through, showing love. Antoinette is here, as well as see you. Luciana, who keeps checking in. Paul Skiff, Alexander Goldberg, Lynn Lane, for him. Edith, I see you. Chloe, Lawrence Chan, Poetic from Japan. Good to see you here. Tara Lee, she's performed before. Annie Sand doesn't have her video camera on. She's always got different lighting. I hope she's good. Rich Glennon, who we are going to be able to get to. Daydreams, and Shante John. First time I'm seeing Shantae's name. So cool. So, all right. So wanted to shout out some names, people who are checking in. Now we're going to our waiting list. Yes, Geneva is not here. I didn't see Geneva Williams, and Matthew Weintraub, who was here last week. He's the teacher. He's not here either. And he had a really cool background with the bricks, but I let him go. I saw withdrawn say I let him go. I should have asked if he's been to the New York. He's from New York City. So next time I see Matthew, I'm going to get him. So we're going to go with the daddy-to-be, Rich Glennon. I'm always happy when we're able to get to the waiting list. So Rich, there you go. Let me unmute him. Daddy-to-be. Should be able to unmute yourself now, Rich. There we go.
Advocate?
I'm good. So we got limited amount of time. So go ahead, brother. Get into it.
All right, I'll jump right in. Okay. First piece is called Thanksgiving. If someone invented a shirt that didn't slide up my back every time I tried lying down, I would cook for them lamb. But I would still stare at them until they gave me some. And then a second piece, when they get the feeling the first bite wasn't big enough. This one is called Distraction. If my cat knew that I was petting her butt just to stop her from licking the plastic bag, she would probably talk about me to her friends, if she had any. This one is called The When. The When. I can tell it's time to see those people again because I keep remembering only the bad times, like when they made me feel small or angry, and I need to be reminded of their good qualities over a meal in an ivy-veined bistro, too cozy to fit these thoughts. Okay. And this last one is called Buzz Cut. Okay, Buzz Cut. All of the boys in grade school had buzz cuts, so I requested one the next time my mother needed to go to the salon. My haircut would take 10 minutes, but then I would have to wait around for an hour while she got her hair cut and dyed. I passed the time inside the pages of cosmetic magazines, getting progressively hornier, until finally masturbating in the bathroom with a pair of rouged lips pressed onto my 12-year-old memory, like a cocktail napkin at a jazz club. My buzz cut wasn't as cool as the buzz cuts atop my classmates. They had straight hairlines that boxed their faces and, along with the garnish of a shiny earring, made them look mature. But the corner of my hairline had a quirky swirl that made me feel like a boy. At home, I asked my uncle why my hairline smudged off in another direction. It's a calic. I have calics too, he said. A lot of them. You can't see them because they're not in front like yours, but they're there. This made me feel better because he had nice hair and he was a man. The next day in class, I strutted my calic around, past the kids who said things like, I think it's pronounced cowlick, but they were wrong. because nobody in my class was as smart as the grown-ups at home, not even the teacher. Plus, Brooklyn is cowless, and the woman on page 37 would never do a man whose hair has been licked by cows.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Rich.
Let's go, Rich. I love it.
That is scream.
That was, oh my God, that was fantastic. I'm sorry that we're pressed for time, but real quick, Rich, please let the people know where they can follow you online.
Rich Glenn on Tumblr and Instagram. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Advocate.
Thank you, Rich. Put the info in the chat. And Rich, I don't know what you're going to do with your poems, if you're going to publish them or not, but keep them. Your child will appreciate them reading 20, 25 years from now. What? But you got to hold on to it for like 2 decades and then on the low, slip it to your kid, you know? All right, moving on. Also, Poetak, I know I'm saying it right, Poetak from Japan. Please send me a message with your email. Please send me a message with your email. I got something for you. All right, now we're going to Norm Mathematics. Norm, you should be able to unmute yourself. Brother, we're pressed for time, so please just jump into it, okay? Thank you, sir.
Jump in, okay? In the woods. So this is a walk in the woods. Walk in the woods. A wet, stormy forest. A pungent feast for the senses. An aromatic blend decomposing underfoot, drying herbs smelling themselves. A persistent menthol soothes cloistered lungs. Recycled water, fresh from the sky, earth's thirst never quenched. Rushing winds sound like blowing waves, thundering through the canopy, no riptides in the understory. Owls call in response, a poignant chorus punctuates. Relentless blowing wind, a reminder that birds sing their song all the same. A disharmonic symphony of woods whining, groaning, grinding against crowded neighbors, leaning in too deep. I am drenched with joy. I am a molecule in this gigantic organism, not a witness, nor a bystander to natural forces of nature. I am one. What's the debate? Where's the forum for the debate? Or would that be taking the bait for the hook, the line, the sinker, the club, the bullet, the gun, the concrete slab, the 6 foot under microphone for words that died in the throats of the silent, dead before they could find the courage to be thought of, to be spoken with heart, without martyrdom. The death of communion, the vilification of a fact checker, exiled looking for the truth about all the killings, the fratricides, the homicides, the infanticides, the mamicides, the papicides. It's the suicides that are up, the result of blaming the victim who feels the fear like an uninvited guest, a hostage, a witness to a carnage, their own, a Khmer Rouge level murder, their own. Fomenting ignorant fears that you have less nothing than your neighbor, wanting more instead of sharing. All systems colliding head on with human reality as if humanity is the barrier to making more. Systems making reality shows mockery of real life. Humanity is complex with interdependent needs overlapping, needing to occupy that single space we must share to survive and thrive. Capitalist drives, killing the souls of individuals as rulers change rules so they keep winning without playing fair. While citizens can't win a rigged game, don't even play, because life ain't no game. Stop playing. Stop playing me. Stop killing. Stop killing me. Stop me from killing myself. Peace.
Oh my God, unmute yourself and give it up for Norm.
Awesome.
Yo.
Go.
Very nice. Very nice.
It's crazy because we online, but it still felt like that poem took the air out the room. It was like, Oh my God, where you went there. Unmute yourself, Norm, real quick. I'm sorry, pressed for time. Let the people know where they can find you online.
They can find me online, IG, Norm_Maddox, and Facebook, Norm Maddox, and another website on Facebook, Get Home Safe, Poems for Getting Across the Community Grid. Peace out. Thank you so much, Ray.
Thank you, Norm.
Ray Jane is up next. Yeah, baby, bring it.
Norm, make sure you also type it into the chat. So next coming up is Ray Jane. Let me unmute Ray. Ray, press for time. So jump right into it, okay?
Wow, I'm excited. I've been waiting for like 2 weeks to share this. So rock with me. This is called Syntax. Sex was supposed to be perfectly before love. Preposition for you and me, our thing was loud. Crooning in the key of Pendergrass when I draped me in red teddy, we were supposed to be persons. Trying to place ourselves solidly, respecting our noun. Demanding it be pronounced. More specifically, not just this, or like that, or what we did with those, these. Desires were demonstratively indefinite. Our bodies saying things like all, any, everything, 'cause no one, not nothing, came between, or so it seemed, until we hurt ourselves. When becoming reflexive, you pleased yourself. And I, myself, became dyslexic when we let adjectives answer our questions. How many? How much? What kind of? Our bodies lost their collective fluency. They forgot how to speak. Yours, no longer loving my language and mine, no longer recalling the nativity of your tongue. It seems that when we were young, our speech flowed effortlessly. Our tenses remained based in future. We remembered how to conjugate. If we were words, then we must have been verbs. Packed with action, we moved each other passively, punctuating privately or perfunctory our sex like sentences, missing periods. Sometimes we ran on, dropping articles as we went, ripping fabrics, turning the dress into indefinite, 'cause when kissing wet, its cost was less, and when it met floor, it was just a dress, a tattered obstacle, a shed metaphor. How could we forget? Subordinating conjunction as if that disconnection would not affect our function. Inevitably, when we rushed, we became past participles of us. When progressing, we were pregnant with passion. We joined bodies, feeding off each other until we birthed semicolons and linked seamlessly, loving like simile, thinking simultaneously that we were the simple future we wished subjunctively, that love was easier and sex was truly free, attempting to stop falling imperatively. We put our actions on wheels. Under what conditions? To what degree? Tried to adverb we, but that was obviously absurd, because we knew modifiers could not change what was true, though we carefully tried to. Our infinitives would not split to accommodate the ways in which our love was now phrased. Our climaxes became entangled in semantics, blurred by errors of syntax. So eventually, we stepped back, passed on possessive, trading in ours for his and hers, missing the time when we held our future and our words.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Ray Jane.
Ray.
Go, Ray, go. Very
Yes,
nice.
the whole lesson.
Every
Thank you.
time.
Every time. I heard someone say that every time, basically every time. Ray, I'm pressed for time. Real quick, where can the people find you online?
You can find me at itsrayjane.com. That's itsrayjane.com, or on Instagram at 3_4 THSCLRVYNT.
Love y'all. Dope. Tonight was dope. It was fire.
Thank you, Ray. That was Ray J. Make sure you put the info in the chat as well. All right, so we're out of time, but Nick, I know I don't do this, so Nick, can you unmute yourself for a second? Nick Louise is the producer for tonight at the New Yo. Nick, you there?
Hey everyone, how are you?
Brother, so I have one last person on the waiting list, Alexander Goldberg. And you're the producer, so I'm asking you, I'm putting you on the spot in front of everyone. Okay. Is it okay if we just go one more poet? We're gonna go a couple minutes over time, and so we could go one more poet, right? Yes?
Yes.
All right, cool. Brother, thank you so much. All right, cool. Mr. Nick Louise, thank you, brother. He's producing the show. Alexander Goldberg is the last person on the waiting list. I knew he was gonna do that, but I knew it was gonna look up, right? All right, here we go. Alexander, wait, you should be, all right, should be able to unmute yourself. Try it again.
Unmute, yeah, okay, I am ready.
All right, get into it, brother.
Okay, so in May 1945, Germany surrendered. In September, it was Japan. The people of the world expected that afterwards, there would be a happy and calm era. But there was a Cold War between the main victorious countries, Russia and United States. In Russia, the cult of Stalin personality as the main winner was gaining strength. My poem is called The Post-War Mosaic. The Fall of Berlin was the movie they made then, and Stalin himself chose the actor who played him. Though he was much shorter than actor in narrative, portrayed as a giant, so friendly and sensitive. So based on that film, Stalin's image was shaping as war hero and father of his great nation. And Truman looked different mainly because he wasn't as stout as smug as Stalin was, but atomic weapon was what he possessed. Election in Italy was his big test. The movies were shown there in many locations. They had a great influence on population. All these movies had anti-communist content, and as propaganda were really important. American movie was popular, though the movie was made before start of the war. In Ninotchka, where Greta Garbo was starring, main character finds that what she hated was charming. Low quality, rough, but effective at last, the Democrats won. CIA test was passed. Right after that, Stalin felt humiliated. He knew that his country is still devastated. He felt the defeat, but he wanted to tell and show Soviet people that they're living well. He wanted to make his own bomb and to win. And people were paying for their leaders' whims. The people were poor. They were asking for bread, but Stalin gave people the movies instead. American movies were shown on the screen. Most popular movie was Gone with the Wind. When cinema industry got restored, new movies were made with funds government stored. America prospers like never before. American people can now afford more. New houses, new cars people now can afford. American dream is what this life was called. The sitcoms and movies show this way of life. The values and happiness money can buy. But which can't begin? People were in despair. Jobs lost, passports taken. It was so unfair. And some people were even taken to prisons for selfish ambitions of wild politicians. McCarthy's hysteria ended much later, but our democracies tarnished forever. But Stalin was searching for culprits and scapegoats, for enemies to justify his own failures. He was so afraid of the riots and thought of dangerous people who have fought abroad. So Stalin purged communist parties from spies. His methods were brutal, his charges were lies. In satellite countries, the trials were to start. Those who were imprisoned were tortured and starved. The leaders of states were convicted and shot, and people of Russia had suffered a lot. And everything went just as Stalin had planned. Genetics and sciences were also banned. The men who were in Soviet state with iron fist for 25 years passed away on March 5th. For communists, it was a tragic event. We hope that the tyranny came to an end. Before Stalin's death, Harry Truman retired, but he was a man who had stood up to Stalin. The fear of a strike had already existed. There's more propaganda to come in the 50s. Thank you.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Alexander. Oh wait, let me see.
Oh.
Yeah, now you can go ahead.
Come on, yeah, baby.
Teaching us.
That was so on. Thank you.
Alexander Goldberg. Sorry, I'm pressed for time. Alexander, real quick, let the people know where they can find you online.
Alexander Goldberg on Facebook, Herbensky on Instagram, and Angone15 on Twitter. Thank you for the opportunity to perform tonight. I'm so grateful.
Thank you, Alexander. Loving the new camera. Make sure you put that info in the chat. Every Monday at 8 p.m. we do this. Thank you, Nick Louise, for staying after a few minutes so we can get one more poet in. Make sure you go to www.nuyorican.org/contribute. Contribute if you can. Check out the website. Follow us online so you know when the next show is. So shout out to Jason Quinones as well. I know supervising Nick Louise as the producer. So good night, sweet poet. Thank you for sharing what you've written. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Good night, sweet poet. May your dreams be as imaginative as tonight's poems. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for inviting us into your homes. This has been the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the Nuyorican Poets Cafe, hosted by me, advocate of Wordz. I'm a very fortunate dude. So we've had a good night. Please, please, please do not go on YouTube and look up anything with Donald Trump or with Joe Biden or anything. Enjoy the rest of your night. We've had a beautiful night. All right, Nick, we're done. Take us home. Peace.